And you can bring your feet to hips width distance apart, or you can bring them to mats with distance and knock the knees in. Wherever you choose, you can bring your hands to your belly. And allow yourself to begin to relax. Become present on the mat. And as you begin to come in tune with your breath, just feel the belly as it gently rises and falls underneath your hand. Maybe noticing that as you come to calm, come to presence, your breath slows down just a little bit. And if you find that your mind or body are really racing this morning, you can be more intentional about bringing the breath to slow down by counting as you inhale to a count of 4, and then exhale again to the count of 4. And in order to start this practice, just really calm and relaxed, take a moment to do a body scan, maybe starting in between the brows and relaxing that third eye. Unhinge the jaw. Allow the shoulders to relax back into the mat. The back and hips to be fully supported, and the legs to be at ease, the soles of the feet in connection with the earth. I'm just taking a moment here to be grateful for this time together. And identifying one more thing that you're grateful for in this present moment. Bringing that gratitude moment to mind anytime your mind begins to wander or dips into negative thoughts. And with that, bring the feet to hips width distance apart if they aren't already. And bring the arms up and overhead. So fingers nice and long, maybe the backs of the hands find the ground behind you. And then make your arms as straight as possible. So really bringing them out of the shoulder blades, while at the same time allowing the shoulders to relax away from the ears. So just finding the sensation all the way from the fingertips through the middle of the back and outward toward the shoulder blades. And then sweep the arms down into a T and keep them moving so that the fingertips point toward the bottom of your mat. And then sweep them back up and overhead. And this time as you sweep them down, find cactus arms. So bring them out to cactus first. And then bring the elbows in toward the side waist. And then bring that cactus back up and overhead, keeping the elbows bent, maybe fingertips touch overhead. And then bring the arms long up overhead again. And sweep the fingertips up toward the ceiling. From here, plugging the shoulders back into the sockets. And then releasing them back up overhead. So finding this really slight movement of tucking the shoulder blades back and then releasing them out while you're on your back. And just take one more of those, hugging in and then releasing back, fingertips toward the ceiling. And from here, draw the right knee into the chest. Give it some circles or half circles from side to side, slowly opening up. And then take that right knee out to the side. So opening up the hip a little bit more. And then bring it back to center and bring the sole of the right foot back to the mat. Draw the left knee in toward the chest. Give it some half circles or full circles. Noticing where you're feeling open and where you might be feeling a little tight this morning. And then draw that left knee out to the side. And then back to center and return the left sole of the foot back to the mat. From here, bring the heels in close enough, getting set up for a bridge pose here. So the heels are close to your fingertips. As you inhale, press into your feet, slowly rise up. Arms can stay long by the side. As you exhale, slowly roll down, vertebrae by vertebrae. Take 3 more of those at your own pace, inhaling to rise. Let the arms be effortless here. And as you exhale, slowly roll down. And once you finish your last round, we'll meet with our backs on the mat. And then once again, rising up to your bridge pose. This time, roll the shoulder blades under the body and clasp the hands underneath the lower back. And notice where the effort is coming from here. Engage through the glutes, through the thighs, press down into the feet. Holding here for 3 full rounds of breath. And when you finish that 3rd round of breath, unclasp the hands and slowly roll down. And then cross the right thigh over the left and draw the knees into the chest. So you can clasp behind the thighs or in front of the knees, or if you're feeling open enough this early, you can reach for the feet and pull those feet apart. So last week we did a lot of glutes. And I thought, why not do some more this week? So this pose right here is really good to stay nice and open through the glutes so it doesn't feel as sore tomorrow. And then you can release the feet, Bring the soles of the feet back to the mat and just take that stretch on the other side. So bring the left thigh over the right thigh, drawing the knees into the chest. And either staying right here, I'm already feeling a stretch in my outer left glute. But if you want a little bit more, you can reach for the outer edges of the feet, drawing them out to the side. Wherever you are, make sure that your shoulders are connected with the mat rather than reaching and crunching up to reach for any specific part. And then bring that focus to the outer left glute. Feel that stretch and then breathe into it to let it go. Bring both soles of the feet back to the mat. And once again, inhale to rise up into that bridge pose, clasping the hands underneath the body, rolling the shoulder blades underneath you. On your next exhale, slowly bring the right knee into the chest, really pressing into that left foot, and then lower the right foot back down. Then bring the left knee into the chest and lower it back down. So move from side to side, taking these really slow bridge marches. So stay engaged through the glutes as you press down into the foot that remains on the mat. We're getting into the hips and into the glutes here. Try to stay as steady as possible in the upper body. You can always do this on a block or block-like prop. If you have one, you could take a supported bridge and do these marches. Just make sure if you're in that supported pose that you're making a point to engage through the glutes. So finish the round you're on and then take one more march with your right and your left foot. And then come into that bridge pose again. Engage through the glutes to get just a little bit higher. And then unclasp the hands as you slowly roll down vertebrae by vertebrae. Okay, we're gonna do that one more time. Inhale to press into the feet and rise up. Find that clasp underneath the body, rolling the shoulder blades under. And then start on the left foot this time. Bring the left knee into the chest and lower. Right knee and lower. You can move at your own pace here if you want to go a little bit faster to test your balance, test your strength. You can find whatever pace is good for you, as long as you are engaging and staying steady in the upper part of the body. And then finish the round you're on and take one more full round of left foot and right foot meeting in that bridge. Press into the feet, engage through the glutes to rise up just a little bit more. And then slowly unclasp and roll down. From here, draw the right knee into the chest, extend the left leg long toward the bottom of the mat. Just holding here for a moment. You can take some movement if it's calling to you, or you can stay in stillness. I'm already feeling it in my glutes, but we'll stay nice and loose throughout practice, and then at the end, we'll take some nice juicy stretches. Bend the left knee, bring the sole of the feet back to the mat, and cross the right ankle over the left thigh. Bring the arms out to a T or in a cactus. Flex through the right foot, find that figure four. Draw that figure four over to the left. So you're finding a figure four twist. And gaze can go over the right shoulder, or it can stay up toward the ceiling. And then you can rock that figure four back to center. Uncross the right leg and cross the left leg, left ankle over the right thigh. And then rock it over to the right, finding that figure four stretch to the other side. On this side, I always have to remind my body to relax a little bit more. My lower back feels a little bit tighter on this side. So wherever you're feeling any tightness or resistance, just send your breath there. Remind the body that it's okay to release. And then rock it back to center. Uncross the left leg and sweep the arms down by the side, palms face down. And from here, bring both soles of the feet up to face the ceiling. Really flex through the feet. Feeling that stretch in the back of the legs. And before we move here, just allow the shoulders to relax into the mat. Feel the connection of the full spine. And then begin to bring the toes together. And then the heels together. So you're just finding this little movement of the bones in rotation in the hip socket. So toes together, heels together, just moving back and forth, still feeling that stretch in the back of the legs. And then take one more toe and heel connection. And then bring the feet parallel as the soles of the feet face toward the ceiling. And you can either use your hands here on the outer edges of your thighs or leave your hands on the mat. Open up your legs to a wide V. Whatever wide means to you this morning. And then bring it back up. And slowly open wide again. And back together. And one more time, open and close. And we'll meet with the soles of the feet facing the ceiling. And from here, draw your legs into your chest. Give yourself a nice big squeeze here. And if a happy baby is calling to you, open the legs, find the outer edges of the feet, or you can just keep your hands wrapped around your thighs or your shins, hugging the knees close to the chest. Taking a couple of breaths here. If you're in happy baby, bring your knees into your chest and everybody rock and roll back and forth. Coming all the way through to a tabletop position. So however you want to get there is great. Once you find yourself in tabletop, begin to just rock your hips from side to side. And then taking any movement that's calling to you, if that's a cat-cow, or maybe some barrel rolls. And if you have done something to one side, take this time to switch to the other side, just evening out the body, feeling the difference from side to side. And we'll meet back with a neutral spine. Send the right leg long behind you. So really flex through that foot. Have it come straight out of the hip. And then from here, you'll cross the right toes over the left leg, tap the toes on the mat, gaze goes over that shoulder. And then sweep it back across, tap toward the right, gaze toward the toes. So we did this one last week. Just moving from left to right, right to left. And then one more full round from left over to right. And then send that leg long behind you. And then bend through the right knee, sole of the foot faces the ceiling. And from here, we're just gonna tap that knee over the left calf. Maybe it taps the mat, maybe not. And then send it back out behind you. And then bend through the right knee, sole of the foot faces the ceiling. And the right knee taps beside the left calf. Bring it back out straight behind you. Bend through the right knee and tap that right knee toward the outer edge of the left. Bring it straight back out behind you and take 2 more rounds of this. Bending through the right leg, tapping the right knee, and then sending it back out. Last one. So we'll meet with that right leg long behind us. And then just tuck the right toes on the mat and rock a little bit back and forth. So staying loose through the back of the right leg. And then bend through the right knee again. The sole of the foot faces the ceiling. And then we'll take those pulses here. So engaging through that right glute to raise the foot just a little bit. And you can take these as slow or as fast as your body is calling for. But remember that movement is coming from the glute. So it's really a small movement up and down. If the movement were coming from the thigh or from someplace else, it'd be a big movement. And take 2 more pulses. And then we'll return to tabletop. Give those hips a rock back and forth. And then we'll move to the other side. So send the left leg long behind you, shooting it straight out from the hips, flex through the toes. Find your alignment first. And then begin to cross the left toes over toward the right, gaze follows. And then sweep it back over toward the left, gaze follows. Bringing it from side to side. Pressing down into the palms, into the finger pads to stay lifted up out of the shoulders. And just take one more tap, finishing the round up. And then send that left leg long behind you once again. Bend through that right knee, sole of the foot faces the ceiling. And then tap, left knee, and then tap the left knee to the outside of the right calf. And then bring it back up and straight out. Bend through the left knee, tap it over the right calf, and then send it back out behind you. Bend through the left knee, tap it over the right calf, send it back out behind you. Take 2 more of these at your own pace. Stay nice and lifted. Last one. We'll meet with that leg extended behind. And then just tuck the toes on the mat. Give the leg a little rock back and forth. And then re-bend the left knee, sole of the foot faces the ceiling. Take some of those pulses on this side. So engage the glute, release the glute. Engage the glute, release the glute. At your own pace. Let's take 2 more pulses here. And then release it back down. Bring the toes together, knees wide. Press back into a child's pose. And press into the palms, return back to a tabletop. Take 1 round of cat-cow. Inhale to drop the belly, lift the gaze. And exhale to round the spine, drop the head. Come back to neutral. And then find yourself in a seated position with your legs out long in front of you. Flex through those toes. And then bend through the left leg first and cross the left sole of the foot over the right thigh. So finding this cross in front of you. And hug that knee in toward the upper right corner of the chest. Sole of the foot is staying connected with the mat. Right foot is flexed and sit up nice and tall. You should feel a little bit of a stretch in that outer glute, in the IT band. And then inhale the arms up and overhead and twist over toward the left. Left hand can be used as a kickstand behind you. Find the twist through the core, hugging that knee in toward the chest to get a nice stretch along the outer glute. And then slowly begin to unwind and uncross the foot, bringing both legs back out in front of you. Maybe give the knees a little shake, staying flexed through the feet here. And then bend the right knee in toward the chest and cross that right foot over the left thigh. Hugging the knee in toward the chest and sitting up nice and tall. Just notice where you're feeling the stretch here. Even close the eyes to go inward a little bit. Do a nice little body scan here. And then you can keep the eyes closed or flutter them back open. Inhale the arms up overhead and twist over toward the right. Twist through the core. Use the right hand as a kickstand behind you. And slowly unwind, uncross the feet. Take just another moment to really flex through those toes and sit up nice and tall. And then sweep the feet to one side. Find yourself back in tabletop. And then tuck the toes behind you and begin to hover the knees off the mat for just a moment. And then press back into your first downward facing dog. So maybe pedal it out here or find some movement that's calling to you. And then coming to stillness. Bend the knees as much as you need to get that nice long flat back. And then inhale the right leg back up behind you and bend through the knee, opening up the hip. Maybe the left sole of the foot comes a little bit closer toward the mat if it wasn't already touching. Send the right leg back out long behind you. And as you exhale, step it through in between the hands. Find that low runner's lunge first. Keep the back knee lifted. And then slowly rise up into your high lunge. Bend the front knee really deeply. Arms nice and high. And then exhale to frame that front foot and step back into your downward facing dog. Pedal it out again. And then inhale the left leg back up behind you, bend through the knee, maybe sending the right heel closer toward the mat. And then re-extend the left leg long and step it through in between your hands, finding that low runner's lunge first. And then rising up into your high lunge. Bend deeply through that left knee. And then reframe that front foot. Step back into your downward facing dog, pedaling it out once more. Then find yourself in stillness and bend your knees really deeply, sending your belly back toward your thighs. And then you're gonna pounce toward the top of the mat. Find yourself in a forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift and exhale to forward fold. Sweep the arms out to the side, up and overhead, gaze can follow. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale the arms out and up. This time, bend the knees deeply, find yourself in chair pose. So take a moment here to shine the chest forward, so open the shoulders up, sit nice and deep. And then press into the feet to rise up. Once again, bend through the knees, sit nice and deep. This time, bring the hands to heart center and step back with your right foot. Find yourself once again in high lunge. Nice job. Frame the left foot, plant the right palm, gentle twist. And then reframe that left foot. Rise back up into high lunge, bend through the left knee, and step forward back into chair pose. We'll do that on the other side. Bring your hands to heart center. Root down into the right foot, step back with the left, high lunge. Reframe the front foot, plant the left palm, right arm floats up to the sky. Reframe the right foot, come back into high lunge, and step forward into chair pose. Press into the feet to stand all the way up. Okay, so you should be feeling this in your glutes already. At least I am. So we're gonna do that a few more times. So sit down into your chair pose. Hands to heart center. Step back with your right foot. Find your high lunge. Reframe the left foot. Gentle twist, left arm high to the sky. Reframe the left foot. High lunge. And step forward into chair pose. Hands to heart center. Left foot back. High lunge. Bend through that front right knee. Then reframe the right foot. Gentle twist. Right arm high to the sky. Reframe that foot. Rise back up. Back to chair. Use your glutes to sit in this chair. And then rise up. Hands by the side, close the eyes, take a breath. Take a breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. One more. And then inhale the arms up overhead, open the eyes, sit back into chair pose. Same routine, hands to heart center. Send the right leg to the back of the mat, high lunge. Frame the left foot, left arm to the sky. Frame the left foot, high lunge. Come back to chair. Hands to heart center. Left foot to the back of the mat, high lunge. Reframe the right foot, right arm high to the sky. Reframe that foot, high lunge. Step it forward into chair pose. Hold here for a breath, use those glutes. Then press into the feet to rise up. Sweep the arms down by the side, take a breath. And we'll do that sequence once more for this round. Sweep your arms down, sit into chair pose. Bring the hands to heart center. Send the right foot to the back of the mat. Find your high lunge. Frame the left foot. Gentle twist. Frame the left foot. High lunge. Sweep that back foot forward into chair pose. Hands to heart center. Left foot toward the back of the mat. High lunge. Frame the right foot. Right arm high to the sky. Frame the right foot. High lunge. Forward into chair pose. And then press into the feet to rise all the way up. Nice. Sweep the arms down by the side. Close the eyes, take a breath. Once again, bend the knees, flutter the eyes open, sit back into chair pose. If your arms get tired, you can bring them to your chest. Sit just a little bit lower, and then we'll take some pulses. So sit just an inch lower, inch higher, inch lower, inch higher. Use those glutes, don't rely just on your thighs. One more. And then forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to forward fold. Step back into plank pose. Lower the knees. Lower the chest and chin. And forward, baby cobra. Exhale, release. Push back into downward facing dog. Take a couple rounds of breath there. And then inhale the right foot back behind you. Exhale to step it through in between the hands. Drop the back knee. Find that low lunge. Supported low lunge. And then you can walk your hands up to your thigh or sweep them up overhead. And then reframe that right foot. Keep the back knee lowered. Find a gentle twist here. And if it's calling to you, you can bend your right knee, left knee, reaching for that left foot. If you have the left foot, release it. And then reframe the right foot, tuck the left toes, and push back into downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg back up behind you. Exhale to step it through in between the hands. Lower the right foot, the right knee, and untuck the right toes. Stay here or walk your hands up to your left thigh, or sweep your arms up and overhead. And then reframe that left foot. Find your gentle twist. And if it's calling to you, you can bend your right knee, reaching back for your right foot. Release that right foot if you have it, meeting in that gentle twist. Reframe the left foot and just sweep that left foot back, coming into a tabletop pose. Take a round of cat-cow. Inhale to drop the belly, lift the gaze. Exhale to round the spine, drop the crown of the head. And then come back to neutral here. So I said we're gonna focus on the tush today, so we're not stopping quite yet. Bend that right knee, so all of the right foot faces the ceiling. Let's take a round of pulses. Engage the glute, release the glute. Engage, release. At your own pace, stay lifted out of the shoulders. 2 more pulses. And then sweep that right foot to the side. Extend the leg nice and long. So it might be low, and actually you can even have your toes on the mat for a moment. It might be really high or somewhere in the middle. And then start to take some circles forward and see if you can keep the weight evenly distributed through your hands. So you're not leaning over to one side. So take some circles forward. Any circle size of your choice. And then take some circles backward. And then tap the toes on the mat. Take a little breather for that outer glute here. And then once again, raise the toes up off the mat and tap the toes and raise. Tap and raise. Tap and raise. 3 more. And then rebend that foot. Bring it back into your tabletop pose. Take a round of cat-cow. We'll move to the other side. So bend through that left knee. Just take some pulses over here. Engaging and releasing the glute. Take 2 more pulses. And then extend the leg long beside you. And start to take some circles forward. Staying nice and even through the hands. And then take some circles backward. And then bring the toes back on the mat. Give that glute a little breather. And then raise it back up. And we'll do toe taps. Tap and rise. Tap and rise. Tap and rise. 3 more. And then come back to tabletop. Bring the toes together, knees wide, child's pose. And then press into the palms, tuck the toes, find a final downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg back up behind you. Exhale to step it to the outside of the right foot. And then bring the left foot to the outside of the left hand. Finding Malasana. You can stay up nice and high here, or sit low. If you're sitting low, maybe bring your hands to heart center. Close the eyes. And then wherever you are, come down all the way onto your seat and bring the soles of your feet together for Baddha Konasana. Sit up nice and tall. Maybe bring your hands to your ankles or your calves. Crown of the head reaches toward the ceiling. Maybe move some flesh out of the way. And then you can bring your fingertips on the mat as long as you can keep a nice long spine. Maybe find a gentle forward fold here. You can allow the head to be heavy. When I do glutes in class, the actual active part, our standing section, is often shorter because I like to spend a lot of time then opening up the glutes, keeping them nice and loose so that you can still walk tomorrow. Since we don't focus on our glutes all that often, especially in yoga, the stretch becomes really important. And then you can drag the fingertips coming back up to sit. Find that nice tall spine. And then use your hands to help the knees come back up through center. Bring the arms out wide to a T and then hug them in. Wrapping your shins, maybe dropping your forehead down to your knees. And then unwrap that hug and find yourself on your back once again. So bring your heels close enough. Take a couple more bridge poses. So press into the feet to rise up. Find that clasp of the hands, hugging the shoulder blades under the body. And we'll take out that round of marches that we did in the beginning. So engage through the glutes, engage through the thighs, press down into the feet, and then bring the right knee toward the chest and lower, and left knee toward the chest and lower. Just seeing if this feels any different from the beginning of class. Maybe you feel a little stronger, or maybe you feel really tired. Just be grateful for what your body can do for you in this moment. And take one more march with your right and your left foot. And then slowly unclasp the hands, rolling down vertebrae by vertebrae. Straighten both legs toward the ceiling, soles of the feet toward the ceiling, flex through those feet. Feel that stretch through the back of the legs. And then tap the toes together and heels together, finding that internal, external rotation of the bones in the hip sockets. Just take one more tap of the toes, tap of the heels, and then soles of the feet face the ceiling. And find that wide V. And back together. Open up into that wide V. And back together. And one more time. Then bend the knees, soles of the feet back to the mat. Cross the right ankle over the left knee, find that figure four. And then stay there or draw the figure four into the body. Wherever you are, let the shoulders be heavy into the mat. And then if you have drawn the figure four into the body, release it. And just continue to draw the right thigh over the left and bring that whole shape in toward the chest. So you can stay here if you're feeling a stretch, or you can reach for the outer edges of the feet. See if there's any place where you can use your breath to help you relax a little bit more into this pose. And then wherever you are, release that shape and come back into your figure four on this side. So the right ankle is over the left thigh. Arms sweep out to a T or to cactus pose. And then find that figure four twist over to the left, gaze over toward the right. And if you feel like your right knee is kind of drooping inward, you can use your left hand just to give it a little kickstand. And then see if there's any place in the body where you can relax a little bit more. And then rock that figure four back to center. Uncross the legs. And cross the left ankle over the right thigh. Find your figure four on this side, staying here or drawing it into the body. Wherever you are, shoulders are relaxed and that left foot is flexed. Right toes can completely relax. And then release that figure four, drawing the left thigh all the way over the right and drawing the knees into the chest. Stay here, or once again, reach for those outer edges of the feet. Relax through the upper body, relax in between the eyebrows. And then release wherever you are. Come back into the figure four with your left ankle on top of your right thigh. Sweep the arms out to the side in any way that feels comfortable. And then rock the figure four over to the right, gaze over toward the left. Once again, if you feel like your left leg is kind of drooping in, you can use your right hand as a kickstand. And then bring it back to center and cross the legs. And draw both knees into the chest, either staying here or finding a happy baby. And if there's any other pose or shape that you'd like to take to end this practice, feel free to take that. And then when you're ready, you can find yourself in Shavasana. Send the legs long toward the bottom of the mat, feet at least as wide as your mat. Arms out to the side. Really take up your space. And then gently allow the eyes to close as the eyeballs become heavy in the socket. Release the forehead and in between the eyebrows. Unhinge your jaw, maybe even moving it a little from side to side. Slowly, just ever so slightly hug the shoulder blades underneath the body, allowing that heart to shine upward. And then allow the feet to splay out to either side, fully releasing, knowing that you are safe and supported in this very moment. And on your next inhale, send the breath all the way down to the belly. You can let it gently back out through the mouth. Take some movement in the fingertips and toes. And any other movement that your body needs to wake up from Shavasana. Eventually rolling onto one side. And no rush. Whenever you're ready, we'll meet in a seated position. And bring one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly whenever you find yourself seated. Reconnecting with the breath. And recall the beginning of class when you brought in an image of something that you are grateful for. Let that image fill your heart and your mind. And then bring your hands to heart center. Bow the head. And as you breathe in, I am. As you breathe out, gratitude. I am gratitude. Allowing your unique light that shines off of you to shine out gratitude for even the smallest things in your day. Passing along the gratitude to everyone in your wake. Namaste.